Absence, they say, makes the heart grow fonder. This is one way I can describe what I feel at the moment, as I remember the tragedies that befall glamorous Rita Hayworth. How this exceptional pinup character suddenly slipped from her sizzling goddess aura into the painful burden of Alzheimer's ordeal is one story too many for a lovely lady who graced the big screen. Fiery-haired and enticing, she left millions of fans wishing it never happened. But who are we to question fate? The tragic secret behind Rita Hayworth's Outburst. It wasn't what you thought. Make sure to watch the video until the end and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you are new here, join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Matentis channel. Maybe producers were right when they came up with that production concept that Rita Hayworth was never lovelier. Like a bright luminary, she brightened fans with her fast-distributed attraction that is yet to be replicated several years later. During her career reign that spanned about 37 years, Rita created more fun and fantasies than anyone could imagine, and left admirers high and dry, with regrettable situations that we all agree was beyond her control. No one can take away the fact that Rita Hayworth was a sassy love idol. She fascinated her audience with her sultry look, and became one of America's beloved pinups during World War II. She remarkably kept thousands of her male audience desiring. One man who complimented her so well on screen was the famous Fred Astaire, who was more than willing to fall under her tranquilizing spell in that historic production. And just recently, we heard from her beautiful daughter, Princess Yasmin Aga Khan, of how she was such a wonderful mother. Her charm was a global phenomenon and had no boundary in terms of distance or even religion, the reason she found favor with the Islamic prince in one of the most historic marriages anyone can think of. Talking about her screen prowess, Rita's beauty got immersed in the far side of the continent as she tiptoed through the Argentine coast as Gilda, a movie that imaginatively hypnotized thousands of her audiences the instant she made her sultry appearance. Rita came very smoothly, played her role, and went away tragically. Unfortunately, the memories she left with us after watching those erotic movies of the 1940s would continue to keep our romantic fantasies alive. Interestingly, the ugly hands of death that eventually took Rita Hayworth away may have seized her soul as early as when she was about 40, following manifestations that were often attributed to alcohol. At the time, she'd fly into a rage, in an outburst at the slightest provocation. But while everyone was imagining the kind of alcoholic inducement that could be causing her issues, physicians gave her case a name: Alzheimer's. I wouldn't know exactly how it was for many when that news came out about Rita being diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. And several years later, the evils of that disease epitomized her like hell on earth. It became like a joke, with little things such as shuffling her feet, fiddling her hands, and getting incredibly restless. The fear and the mood swings were the combination that would turn a beautiful soul like Rita Hayworth into a manic character. That was it. Hollywood lost one of its most popular idols. The truth was bitter, especially when she couldn't even remember her movie lines anymore, to the total amazement of many, including co-actors that were on the set with her, with all pointing accusing fingers at the heavy drinking. Maybe the climax of her dreadful torturing came sometime in the 1970s when she experienced an epic outburst on a flight, attracting a lot of public criticism, sympathy, or fun, depending on the angle one viewed the situation. And even though it was one of her several distressing public spectacles, that incident on the plane trip to London, with the untidy images that trended about her, was enough for anyone to express shock at what happened to this great talent, even as the global gossip media made a feast of her situation. Rita Hayworth was born Margarita Carmen Cancino in 1918 to two career dancers, Eduardo Cancino and Volga Hayworth, in Brooklyn, New York. Maybe I should just say that she was a combination of a Romani father and an Irish-English mother. Her father desired Rita to become a dancer, but her mother preferred acting. It was Antonio Cancino, her grandfather, who first gave her dance lessons as early as possible. Maybe 3 years or so, but Rita says, "As soon as I could stand on my own feet, I was given dance lessons." The little girl found the dance routine funny and disliked it, but with no option to say no, she kept learning and improving. "I didn't dare to tell my father, so I began taking the lessons," she was quoted, and added, "Rehearse, rehearse, rehearse was just the only thing that occupied her early childhood." And by the time she was 5, Rita was already one of the 4 Cansinos that starred in the Broadway production of the Greenwich Village Follies at the Winter Garden Theater. 3 years after, she appeared in La Fiesta, a short movie by Warner Brothers. And when her father moved his family to Hollywood, it was to take advantage of movie musicals as he began a dance studio. Then came the Dancing Cansinos, which has a 12-year-old Rita and her father in a dancing act. Reports say that her hair got transformed from brown to black to give her a more acceptable appearance. Still too young to be a nightclub dancer, Rita's father hauled her across the border somewhere in Tijuana, Mexico, a renowned tourist spot for well-off individuals from Los Angeles. Although Rita completed the 9th grade at Hamilton High in Los Angeles, her eyes were already on entertainment, and soon she was given a bit part in Cruz Diablo. Then she was only 16. Of course, her cuteness was already manifesting. Dancing with her father regularly until Winfield Sheehan, the Fox film boss, spotted her in one of her routines at the Caliente Club. Rita was quickly screen tested with a positive outcome, owning her screen attraction and the feminine splendor that she exuded. Sheehan brought her in with the name Rita Cansino, but after she came on board, she later acquired the name Hayworth as her film career progressed. Rita made her film debut in Under the Pampas Moon in 1935 and appeared in several minor roles until her star began to shine. But it wasn't easy because the merging of Fox with 20th Century Pictures left the young dancer jobless until she met and married her first husband, who became her manager and ironically changed her fortunes. His name was Edward Judson, an astute entrepreneur that was 22 years her senior. At this time, Rita had her eyebrows and hairline reformed by electrolysis. It saw her changing from a raven-haired Latino to a fiery-haired outlook. Judson also helped her with a remarkable professional name and got a press agent to do picture publicity of Rita Hayworth in the media, including fan magazines, a move that landed her a 7-year contract at Columbia Pictures. After appearing in 1939 Only Angels Have Wings with Cary Grant, in which the director Howard Hawks played her as an adulterous wife, the role got the actress her first good critical approval. At this time, a love goddess was born. She subsequently rose to the fame as one of the 1940s top stars. She was designated the Love Goddess by a renowned journalist who was describing her glamorous screen persona, and the name stuck with her. Her fame climaxed when she was cast as Fred Astaire's dancing partner in You'll Never Get Rich, which became a hit and got her a Time magazine cover report. Rita had about 61 films to her credit and highly effective career stardom that shook the entertainment industry. When the news came that the actress passed on in 1987 in her New York City home, it was chilling news to those of us who knew that she had a lot more to offer at the age of 68. We only took solace in the fact that the legacy she left behind was yielding fruit because her daughter Princess Khan had since initiated the annual Rita Hayworth Gala through the Alzheimer's Association to preserve her mother's legacy. She aims to raise funds to finance the research aimed at finding a cure for the disease. Apart from her career, Rita also had a wonderful time with her romantic life, marrying 5 times and befriending several Hollywood leading men, including her enduring relationship with Glenn Ford. Her affair with Ford was described as a long-term on-and-off 40-year relationship. Why? The relationship began on the set of Gilda in 1945 and refused to falter. Decades after, the new book emerged suggesting how the relationship had lingered on for years. It was Glenn Ford's son who revealed that his father got Rita pregnant during the production of The Loves of Carmen. For some obvious reasons, she would not keep the baby, so she journeyed to France to have the pregnancy aborted. And when Ford became her next-door neighbor at her Beverly Hills home in 1960, the duo continued their romance for several years. Rita Hayworth's marriage to Edward Judson came as early as 18 years in a Las Vegas 1937 wedding. He was already her manager for months before he took another step to take her home. Rita saw an opportunity in him, and that's why she told fans years after, "He helped me with my career." The most understandable reason she moved in with him, and her confession came after they divorced, adding that he also helped himself with her money. She accused Judson of compelling her to transfer a large amount of her property to him, adding that she agreed to give him $12,000 at a time because he was threatening to harm her after she decided to leave him. After filing for divorce outlining Cruelty, Rita told the media that her husband, who was long away in Oklahoma and Texas, left her in Hollywood where she worked, including how their age difference was a source of conflict between her and her parents, a rift she said had continued until she freed herself from the marriage. It also seems that Judson never told her that he was a double divorcee before their marriage. And in all that transpired, Rita left the marriage penniless, to the extent that she had to manage to eat. Rita began an affair with Orson Welles during the time of the Mercury Wonder Show, which led to marriage, even though every arrangement leading to the marriage was kept secret, and none of those working with her knew about the coming wedding. She decided to surprise them with the news a day before the event. Hours after taking the oath of marriage, the couple returned to the film set. That marriage produced a beautiful daughter, but it appeared things were just not right with the union. She was frustrated how Welles was too busy with his career and other things, and not willing to be tied to family life. To make matters worse, Welles told her that he never should have married in the first place, implying that the marriage was an obstacle to his freedom and his way of life. Of course, that union was doomed, and by November 1947, Rita processed their divorce, which was finalized the following year. But that wasn't the end of her marital distress, even when she thought perhaps the problem was something that had to do with the movie industry, which made her abandon her career to marry Prince Ali Khan in 1949, Sultan Muhammad Shah's son. The high-profile marriage also got media attention. Rita Hayworth's new family was into horse racing, which didn't interest the pretty love goddess, though she reluctantly connected with the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club. And in no time, the prince was seen dancing with actress Joan Fontaine in the same venue he met Rita Hayworth. It infuriated her, and divorce would be her option. While she was living in Nevada with her toddler daughter so she could establish lawful residence to be able to divorce him, she reported a threat to steal the little child. With all the intrigues that followed, Rita went for a divorce. But when the going was good, she amazed fans by saying she might convert to Islam, though she never did. The bone of contention in the divorce would be the custody battle of their daughter, Princess Yasmin Aga Khan. The prince wants her daughter raised in the Islamic tradition, but Hayworth preferred Christianity. It was a serious battle, like the Clash of the Titans. She even rejected his offer of $1 million if she agreed to bring her up as a Muslim from age 7 and other conditions, including a regular visit to him in Europe. For Rita, however, nothing would make her give up her daughter's chance to live as an American girl with all the freedoms. "It is my earnest wish that my daughter be raised as a normal, healthy American girl in the Christian faith," she had declared. Reports say that while the judge granted Hayworth's divorce request from Ali Khan, her little 3-year-old daughter was playing around the courtroom as the proceeding went on, and finally climbing onto the judge's lap. What an emotional divorce. And several decades after, Princess Khan told the media that Rita Hayworth, her mother, was just a wonderful mother, adding, "She was so lovely, so caring. I still have vivid memories of her." Recalling memories about being on the set of Pal Joey with Frank Sinatra and the thrilling moments of the shows with John Wayne, all the events portrayed her as a loving and caring mother. Despite the passionate divorce from the prince, they remained friends for the rest of their lives. Princess Khan would visit her father during the summers in France and be on good terms with both parents. It ensures a happy time for them as they drop their ugly past behind them and lived for their daughter. Rita Hayworth taught her daughter important things in life, like taking care of her room, bedroom ethics, and the like. After a jolly golf cart ride as a golfer, Rita would return home and entertain her daughter with music by playing the castanets. "I had a wonderful childhood," she said. Princess Khan was a teenager in high school when she started noticing her mother's odd behavior. Rita would call her on the phone, and in the process of the conversation, the young girl noticed her mother was off track and repetitive. She didn't understand what was happening. Even when she returned from school, the situation was the same with her. Hearing things that weren't there and hitting the panic button for the police, Princess Khan painfully narrated, until her mother finally succumbed to the disease. Rita's story may be over, but the drama in Hollywood never ends. In our next video, we'll reveal the shocking truth about Claudia Cardinal's contract and how she was kept in servitude. Don't miss out on the juicy details.